Greetings and salutations. I return to an old topic I touched upon once before, namely A Song of Ice and Fire, or, for those who know the TV series, A Game of Thrones, where the tagline is, in the Game of Thrones you either live or die. Charming. And that little tagline basically sums up the whole series, really. Because, dear God, the mortality rate is rather high. So, what is the series about? Well, we get down to basics of it is broken down into 3 different sections. The main section that makes up the bulk of the, at least the books, and the most of the characters who are dedicated towards it, is relating to the events surrounding the Iron Throne, and what happens after certain events involving King Robert and his best mate, Ned Stark, which causes events to occur with the Lannisters. Then we have the events surrounding Jon Snow, the bastard son of Ned Stark, who is sent off to the Wall, or rather he volunteers to be sent off to the Wall to join the Night Watch to guard against the wildlings and anything else to dwell beyond the Wall. And in this case, it's the coming of the Others, or in the TV series, I believe they're called the White Walkers. Unpleasant creatures that resemble humans, but unpleasant, to say the least. But they're not the most unpleasant thing of this entire series, though. Then, what do we have? We have the final one, that is in the first book, possibly the most unpleasant of the 3 storylines, revolving around Dany. I don't know how to pronounce her full name, but the cut down name is Dany. She is the descendant of the slain former ruler who once sat upon the Iron Throne. She and her brother were whisked away by a loyal knight, and the brother hopes to win back his throne by selling off his sister to the Horse Lords, or whatever they're known as, to get an army to return with to retake what he believes is his. And honestly, the brother is a total prick and treats his sister with utter contempt, where nothing he does is good enough. And the constant threat he's thrown at her is, don't wake the dragon. He's a bully, and eventually he does get what he deserves. Now, I've only read the first book and halfway through the second one, A Class of Kings. What is there to say about this series? 1, the setting. The setting is handled well. We get treated like tourists, where the main characters give us their insight, their view of the world, of the people around them, of their thoughts and feelings. It is very much driven in a sort of narrative fashion, chapter to chapter, on one person in particular, such as Jon Snow, Ned Stark, Ned's wife Cat, the two daughters, Bran, Ned's other son, who is not the bastard son. He does have 2 more sons, but they aren't focused in the chapters. Then we have the only Lannisters that get their own chapter focus, and that is Torrhen. He's especially referred to as either the dwarf or the imp, who is described as short, malformed, and ugly. Honestly, the way so many characters are described, they're ugly. It is a very unpleasant world, and this series does not hide that fact, because what's discussed in the book is violence, death, nudity. I don't know, not really a lot of it, but it is there. Sex, that's covered in a very brief detail. It happens. We don't get any particular details. This is not smut. And then we come to more questionable topics such as abuse, slavery, and rape. And when we get to Dany's storylines, particularly in the first book, oh god, sexual violence is rather high. Fun times, yeah. So let me put it this way. This series is not for the faint of heart. It is not for those without a thick skin and tolerance to this sort of stuff. Each character gets the introduction gets its own storyline, some weaving in and out of the others. It is done well. Man, woman, old, adult and young, they're all covered in a similar manner of respect where they get good characterization and development. Oh yeah, and I forgot another one of these things is basically comes to this is basically medieval times. So when it comes down to that, age is something of an issue where you reach 50, you're old. And by the time you reach in manhood, you're early teens. And let's put it this way, what happens to Danny is made all the worse because she's only 13 when the book begins. Possibly a year has passed, but still, she's young. She's put up with a lot of crap by the end of the first book. And yeah, we can see it all have an effect. No character is treated poorly in their development, or the story may kick the crap out of them. Danny's lot in life is not a good one. Ned Stark is played by Sean Bean in the TV series, so that really should say something, considering Sean Bean's one of the characters who are the main focus and not the bad guy. The whole setup is very much politics, war, and discovery. Such as Jon Snow learning that he basically idolized the Night Watch, thinking it was something more glorious, something more honourable. But he gets the wake-up call when he gets there and discovers it's not. But along the way he is making a difference. He is forming a new family. Dany is basically sold off as a bride to the Horse Lords. And she herself develops a thicker skin, grows stronger. She actually loves her husband, which unfortunately leads to tragic events towards the end of the book. And as for spoilers, it's a Song of Ice and Fire, aka a Game of Thrones. Tragic events go hand in hand with this series. People die, people get hurt. It is an unpleasant series, but it's a well done unpleasant series. And then we come to the main focus of which is not the most important thing. Well, it is the main thing, which is the civil war that occurs after the fate of King Robert. And we learn more about the Lannisters, about his charming son Joffrey. You thought Dany's brother was a prick. Joffrey's a bully and a spoiled brat, and he damn well gets away with anything. And his mother lets him. And frankly, she's no better. We get a different view of Cersei Lannister, Robert's wife, in the second book, where in the state of war she's a lot more panicky and not as calm. But still, it comes down to politics, conflicts, discovery, growth. It is an ugly series with despicable characters. Some of the character arcs are harsh. The younger daughter of Ned Stark, really should have gone back to her home in Westfall. She doesn't, and she gets trapped in events that are pretty bad, and she's watching people die, and she's losing it. She's making a list of people she wants to kill, she wants to see dead, and with good reason. The elder daughter, who is utterly enthralled with Joffrey, not really seeing the true ugly side of it. She is in love with the idea of knights and honour, until she gets a few wake-up calls that some of these knights aren't really nice and honour is not always cracked up to be, especially what happens to her father. She gets it possibly even worse than her younger sister, because she is the victim of abuse from Joffrey because of reasons that are basically involved in the war. Because it comes down to the bit of the Lannisters and the Starks go to war over what happened to Ned Stark and events surrounding the Iron Throne and Robert's heirs. That's rather iffy, to say the least. There's a lot of iffiness going on. And how can I forget this? Incest. Dany and her brother come from a family where the family, to keep themselves pure, married off their children to their cousins. And that's not the only aspect of incest going on. And for the aspects of rape going on, generally it's covered as being part of the world. It's covered as, yes, this thing is wrong, where even invokes Danny towards the end of her act to try to make a difference among the Horse Lords. And in the second book, there's one scene near the middle of it. I'm sorry, I generally view this book as well written and well developed, but this scene wasn't needed. We know the Lannister's men are questionable in terms of morals, in the fact they don't seem to have any, but we don't need this particular scene involving them, an innkeeper, and his daughter. I've said enough of that because, frankly, that scene left a really bad taste in my mouth that keeps me asking, 1, my girlfriend's watching this, and 2, how the hell did this series get developed into a TV series? And then my girlfriend informed me she didn't recall this scene, so possibly he never made it through translation. So it's possibly some of the more harsher stuff was cut out. And then from here, some series 4, some stuff that makes that look tame was put in as filler. Yeah, that's bloody charming. The second book introduces a few more characters to head up the chapters. There's one who basically plays Danny's brother as another prick who's very self-entitled and believes that he is owed a lot. That he's a smart bugger and he will do anything to get what he deserves. I can only hope he meets the same fate as Danny's brother, in one way or another. So, what do I think about the series? Well, I keep on saying it. It is well written. The characters get some respect. They are developed. They have their arcs. They grow. Man, woman, old, young or average, of an average age. It doesn't matter. They all have their arcs. They all have their growth. Some really have a harder time than others in terms of plot. Crippled, kidnapped without even knowing it, facing the harshness of reality. This is a series I would not recommend to those who are more faint of heart. For those who, let's just say, faint of heart, if the topic of rape is utterly disgusting to you, don't trust this series. So, as I keep on saying, it is a well done series for the most part, but it's seriously unpleasant. Some of the characters are like, some are utter scum who you want to see die in unpleasant ways. I haven't seen the television series, I don't want to see it. But I would say, if you're a fan of the television series, try and give the books a try. It might even be better. From what I hear, some must say it is. So yes, that's just my thoughts on the A Song of Ice and Fire books. So, until next time, peace out, people.